Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing very well. Thought I'd just do a quick update in Bitcoin, Ethereum, a few altcoins I'm looking at as well. Yeah, just my thoughts on what I've been sort of playing the last few days. So where we left off before, we sort of went through our sort of biases. Again, we were in sort of long positions. It's more down sort of, I think the last video we were down sort of, retesting sort of the 67 sort of 6 region, and it's just sort of playing off those levels here, and since then it's just been higher high, higher low, slowly grinding up towards what I'm looking for really. It's going to be a tap of the order block at 74. Only if we get above there, then we can start tackling the higher targets at say 79, 82, and then yeah, see if we can sort of go beyond that. So quite simply, if you're looking for trades, again it's the weekend, so low liquidity. So yeah, always bear that in mind. Fake outs are more dominant. It's more of a Wild West on a weekend. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So we have so you can see the order block here. So you've got a retest. So there's clear resistance here. Subjective where you put this sort of resistance zone, but I like to sort of mark it in the previous range high, which we've got at 73.3. So I'm going to keep it there, sort of lined up with the lows of the range here. So quite simply, this is a range. Reason being, so you've got the first pump after the swing low at 73.3. So this in the middle is a range. So we will play this accordingly. To validate that, you've got the retest here. We failed, so to me that's a valid sort of low range. So if you're looking for a safe entry, you wouldn't just long now. The temptation, because you've got that pump going on, you would simply wait till we flipped above the 73.3 region. Clear above that, either big candle, look to get in, stop loss below, or what I like to do really is wait for a test of the first resistance zone, which you've got here at 73.8. So you've got the sort of level here, so you've got resistance here, so we could break up, back down. As long as you hold above, again, this range here, range low in this case, you then long it back up to the range high, which will be 74.6. So that trade alone, you're looking at roughly, it's about a 1.8% move. You know, it sounds small, but you got your leverage on that. You're going to be doing 10-20% potentially with a low risk, because you're using the tools. And simply, if we reclaim that level, you just keep on holding that long. Every resistance you'll take 10-20%, and just keep riding that up. So that's my Bitcoin plan. Ethereum is just going to follow what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin reclaims that, this will just continue to keep moving up. Again, same situation. We haven't quite tested the range low, which sits at $2,300. What we are seeing is a test of the range low here. So this order block sitting at 2271. Again, you've got the retest there, so that to me is confirmation. But all we're doing now is just filling up these inefficiencies. So we've got a gap here. So to me, that'll be filled up. But again, safe entry, you wouldn't just whack it in now. You want to see a reclaim of the sort of 2270. And then you sort of start working up. So first target, nice and tight at 2310. And you'll just keep going up to 2360 and just keep on going in that position until we break down or whatever may happen, sort of going into Sunday, Monday. Yep, so to keep it simple, that's my plans on Bitcoin Ethereum. A few stronger alts I've been sort of playing in the group. Again, you know, if you do want to support me more, if you do want more calls, do check out the groups in the description. You've got a pay group. All my calls are in that. Altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, every single day. Compared to pricing, compared to the rest of the market, 1,000,000% you'll be getting your money's worth, guys. If you want to become a serious trader, join a community you won't know about. I've been doing this over 10-15 years. You're in good hands. I hope I've proved my worth with the last few updates. If you go back in the videos, you'll see generally things are called pretty well, and the transparency is there. If I make a balls up, I'm going to be transparent about that. I'm not here to pretend we don't make losses. It does happen. Because we do use tight risk, it's minimal. Losses do happen, but we do catch those big moves, and simply that's how you that's how you survive in this game. You know what I mean? So yeah, so do check it out if you do trade with big capital. You've got the weeks group, which again you just deposit using my link. Send me a message and I'll get you straight into the group, and yeah, you'll get more of my calls. Both groups have different calls, so it's good to get into both channels if you can, to get the full benefits of what I can offer for you. Okay, so TAO. So basically, we had this huge, for those who haven't been updated, you got this huge crash down here. Yeah, it is a crash. We're not going to sugarcoat this. I mean, it's a 30% move down, 26% move down. Reason being, one of the subnet sort of users, I think, dropped out for some reason. I don't know full extent, but that caused a sort of cascade. When you see a drop like this, you leave inefficiencies and gaps. We're going to simply look to long to fill these gaps in. So as it stands, I am long. But if you're looking to get into a position, simply, we're seeing higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, grinding into this resistance point I've marked out. But if we get above the 267, sell your family, sell your wife, your kids, any pets you've got, your house. Only messed about, but yeah, you're going to be in a safe position. Again, as long as you hold above that, but if we reclaim that, first target 273, and in my opinion, it's going to be getting up to those 295s, 315, 320s and beyond. Seems far-fetched, but this coin, when it gets going, it really gets going. It's an absolute beast. And you've got a gap here. We put on the volume profile. Yeah, so when you see gaps here, this reinforces the bias on these gaps. I mean, you've got a lot of volume here, but that's evident from the waves we're seeing. But the gap, as soon as we break above the range chart 273, you're going to be filling this in, and it's just going to keep on grinding up. So yes, I think obviously it's Bitcoin dependent. So if Bitcoin does reclaim, the 233 region, that's going to help all altcoins absolutely really pump. I mean, for example, today one I did call in the group, which was a fantastic trade. Yeah, I've been a few of my friends, we went through it this morning, and beautiful trade. Reason being, so again, there's a bit of Elliott wave in this. So whenever you see sort of a flat structure, sort of consolidation, the breakdown, as soon as you start reclaiming the lows of that breakdown, to me, you do start looking for those longs up. So basically, to try and teach again my sort of methods. So again, you've got the side. Whenever you see a consolidation sideways, that's a range. I mean, look how I've taught this before. But you've got range. So the first bounce after this big sort of, let's say, pump from the lows. You've got that sort of drop down, the first impulse up. You've got 4 trades there. So say you wouldn't have shorted here because you could have done. I mean, you got a range high up here. So say you shorted there, but what you would have done is you would have waited for a bounce here. If we reclaim the high, you would have longed, but again we rejected it, so you short back down. Target the EQ, which would have been the 1.367, so it's the mid of this range. But then next target, the range low. Then again, didn't close below it, so you long it again. EQ first target, flew up there, came back down. Range high, next target, didn't flip it, so again you would have took some profit here. Stop loss would have been here, but then you can then close it, re-short. Short it down to the range low, EQ, then range low, bounce, kept on going, still within that short. We never really reclaimed any key areas, and then so where do we find ourselves now? So you would have had 4 good trades from that. I mean, it's not a big range, but what, 1%, 2%, 3%, 3% range. That's banging, awesome. Whenever you see that, you see a breakdown. I mean, unless we're taking out these lows, it's still a bullish market structure. So you wouldn't just randomly long it. I mean, potentially you would have taken out these sort of lows here, and then you would have looked to short us down. But the bull stepped in. We held the order block again. When you see big wicks down, that's a ticket. You've got a potential reversal. You know, wick down here, straight up, wick up here, straight down, wick up here, straight down, wick up here, straight down, wick down there, straight up, wick down there, straight up. So look for wicks because wicks are liquidity grabs. So the wick up, then you look. So if you get a wick down, you look for reversals up. A wick up, look for reversals down. So you know, big players are grabbing liquidity to move, and it'll always be in the opposite direction. So keep that in mind. Like here, you see the few wicks down. I like to use a 15-minute chart to help me, but few wicks down, you could then look for that sort of sideways consolidation. Any longs, you would simply stop loss at the lows and just long it up. So sorry, rambling a bit there, but I hope that makes sense. You know, ranges are, especially on weekends, they're fantastic to trade. So all I did this morning, it was a bit premature longing, but we longed in the group up to the range low. Danced around a bit, but we had a 5-wave up Elliott wave, so I knew this was the bottom of something. So I did long. I would have added if we did drop, stop loss below the low, but continued up, retested the range low, another long if you missed it, and we've just been rising. I've got about 20% of my position left. Again, if we start breaking down to get the range high, I'll close it and look to long it again low. Or if we break above that, I'll just hold that 20%, potentially add to my position. Because NEO, I think, is a fantastic altcoin. But I'll just hold my long for now. There's no reason to short that. You know, people may panic here, but at the moment, there's no signs of a breakdown, so I'm not panicking. But you're not bearish on this, are you? Let's be honest. So you're dancing around this sort of order block here. So next target 1.4, but reclaim that gap up 1.43. You've still got a good what 3-4%. 3.5% move up, and then again range highs 1.5. It's going to be hit at some point. That's an 8.8% move right there. So there's so many opportunities. I mean, if we zoom out, you're just getting more gains. You know what I mean? So you know you got higher. It's all bullish at the moment. Again, you did have a lower low here from this level here, so this could be a. But then you've got a restructure. Well, higher than here, so that's a higher high. So it's looking good for there. Solana, I've not touched this one in a few days. It's been a bit all over the shop, but again, simple trade with this one. Again, always look for the wicks, wick. So as long as we get above, again, you keep it simple. Where there's wicks, there's reactions, and there's order blocks and liquidity. So you want to be taking all of that out. So you'd be looking at a reclaim of 85.6. Again, if we get above that, potentially hit this order block high here as we did here. Come back down as long as we hold there. You know, look to long it back up to the 88 sort of region higher. If we close back below it, you can then short it down. So, you know, up or down, we're going to be looking for moves regardless. You know, we're not biased to any degree. USDT dominance. Yeah, it was dancing around the lows I mentioned. And I did think we did see multiple tests, but we failed to get those breakups, so the market structure was lost. So lower high, breakdown, lower low, and fortunately, we are bearish. So unless we reclaim, I'd probably say 7.65%, I expect us to come down to 7.36. So that means that Bitcoin, in theory, should be breaking up. So my current altcoin positions should be looking strong, but again, we keep the stop loss in motion. So in theory, again, Ethereum Bitcoin chart tends to show the altcoin sort of dominance as well. So I look at that. So in theory, this should be bullish, which. Yeah, we have a decent structure. There's nothing confirmed yet. Again, it's just chop at the moment. But again, if we get above, the range high is here. You can see that from the sort of wicks again. So we get above this level here. Increase altcoin exposure. Look for the strong altcoins, and we can ride it up. Another altcoin chart to look at is the total 2. This is all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin. So this is the one you want to look at to really be sure if we're going to be getting an altcoin run or alt season. But again, it's just choppy. You've got this sort of range here we're sort of looking at. You had the sort of manipulative breakout there. So yeah, if we get above 1 trillion market cap, you're going to be looking at pumps at least to 1.04. So what's that? 2%. That's a 3% move. But again, on spot, 100 you'll be getting 103. It all builds up on leverage. You're looking at 5-10x. It all builds up, but again, the positions we have are so tight and neat that the game's going to be brilliant. And they have been, it's been a very fruitful few weeks. So if you are new to trading, yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting time. Bitcoin, I mean, I get asked this a lot. Are we going to see another pump this year, a dump? I mean, my thoughts overall, again, it's clear on it. We're in a bear market. We've got a lower low sort of formed here. But I mean, nothing is stopping. I mean, I do expect, if we get it or not, I don't know. I have bought some spot down there long term. If we get another big drop later this year, for whatever reason, I'll just be adding to my spot position. But in terms of trades, I trade up and down, so it's irrelevant if we do move down here. I do think later this year we would see a gradual drop, just for the wave structure. So obviously I do a lot of Elliott waves. So, but yeah, there's a few ways you can count it. It's not one way. So I mean, if we do have this, for example, that would be an expanded. It's called an expanded diagonal. So wave 1 is always the shortest. Wave 5 is the biggest. So we do have that. This is the bottom, and it's going to take a lot for us to come back below that now. So I do think potentially we have bottomed. But all I'm doing is playing the ranges, playing the waves. So even if we do come down, we'll be in a short ready to take it out. We'll keep longing and grinding up. As all we need to focus on is the key levels to pay attention to. And yeah, but I will start going through footprint charts at a later date if more people are interested. Again, you've got the naked pointer controls, which help with liquidity areas where price can gravitate towards. So let me remove this for now. But yeah, what we could be seeing now, again, with Elliott wave, it's very subjective. There's many ways you can count this, but you could have, I showed this before, you have wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and now we're in a sort of wave 3. If it's wave 3, we're going to be breaking massive out. But it could be what we call an ABC wave. So you'd be looking at something like that. And I'll show you how complex it could get. So we could get a move up to 80,000, then start dropping. Everyone could start panicking. We'll play whatever we get regardless of what happens. But that ABC will then be part potentially of what's called a combo. So an ABC on its own is called a zigzag. 3 zigzags can make up a WXY combo, which is a WXY wave. So we could see something like this. So basically, we would still get a move up to 80,000. People being very excited, looking to long, but we know that's the range low. Unless we clearly get over that, you're not going to be making any rash decisions. We then get a massive dump. Everyone thinks we're going straight down. We know otherwise. X waves are generally quite short, but again, just to show you how this can move. The X wave here, so it's all 333 basically. So you'll get something like this. So you get a WXY wave. This is what I think will happen if we stay up and start reclaiming 74 in the next few weeks. This is definitely going to be the case. I mean, either we'll get big spike up there, but basically, if you want So if we get this massive spike up in the next few months, the bear market to follow would be horrific. I'll show you what I mean in later videos, but if we get, so this would be the final wave up of this overall, big structure here, all the way from 23. So we've got roughly something like this, wave 4, wave 5 up here. So once you complete that, it's going to be a huge drop, 70–80%. But ideally, what I would love to see, if we can, we get this little correction here, we get one more spike down to here, and then we'll get an even bigger move up to the upside, but you'll get a longer sort of bull market after that. So I much prefer that. Again, if we get a huge spike up here, it's going to be very short-lived. I mean, by sort of Q3, say Q4, sort of October time, September, October, you're going to be then looking for those shorts down. It's going to be a very bloody 27. We don't want that. We want to just get a slow grind up, short down to the reactive levels. You'll be looking at probably 38, potentially a wick down to 31. Whatever causes that crash, we'll keep an eye on it later this year. But so the move down, we'll then look for that first spike up, and then we'll be then looking for the chop to get into a position for that big move. But yeah, so ideally, we'll chop a few months, one more crash, and then we'll get the huge pump. If we just get the pump, expect a very nasty sell-off. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. So I know I've rambled a bit, apologies, but I hope I've sort of taught a bit about ranges, my thoughts for this year, what to look for the next few days, hours, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's been a really good few days. There's been a few small losses, as there always is, but these trades here, I mean, what was that today? They're nothing massive, but it's a 3% move. I did, I think, 10x leverage it, 20x it, you know what I mean? But there's such a small risk. I can afford to take those sort of chances. So it's a 1.5. So 1 to 2 risks on there. But again, if you break above that, we're just going to be extending that. And you don't just close in one go. You take portions. I took 20% off here, 10% as we grow up. Reclaim that. I may add to my long. Just keep running that up. Yeah, I think that's all I was looking to cover. Yeah, again, sorry the updates have been a bit short. I always try and get a daily video out, but been a bit unwell the last few days. Just a bit of a sore throat. So I had it before as well. I know I said in the previous video. So yeah, it did come back unfortunately, but should be good for another video. Again, please, subscribe, share with your friends, like, share. It's always appreciated. And if you want more assistance, you like what you see on the charts, which I hope you guys do, reach out to me, join my groups. There's daily I'm looking at updates, and the more you commit to me, the more commit to you I do. If you send me a chart in the morning or overnight, so what we're looking at, what's your opinion on this coin, I'll give you my full update and how I look to trade it myself. So if that sounds good, yeah, reach out to me, guys. Sign up to the groups. It'd be a pleasure to see you guys in there. Well, I hope you like the update. Have a nice weekend, and I'll be updating again tomorrow with another video. Alright, take care, guys. Thank you.